charge the German guns. Wounded in the process, it took several Germans down. Pulling back to a fuller on the gun, get back on done. Full of saviors, captain boys, and he also got his gun. Poor brave man was later on to die. But Fuller, on returning home in December of 14, was honoured with the Victoria Cross for his gallantry. And he said in a reception given that he was proud to come from Lahr.
Thank you. Our next song is dedicated to all the poets of the First World War. We come from Dylan Thomas country down in Lahr, but this one is for all the World War I poets.
As you can appreciate, in the trenches there weren't too many toilets to write on the walls, so they had to... Oh, never mind. Don't wanna be no target. to do with crazy or insane. I don't wanna fight the military game.
Lieutenant Richardson of the British Army decided to train some dogs up, and instead of sending men as messengers, they could send the dogs, faithful dogs, and the song is called Dog Soldiers. We can dance if you like. it's not all about horses. My great uncle Richie went down to Carmarthen railway station, as probably lots of great uncles did, to say goodbye to his brother who was off to war. He was only 15. Sorry, Uncle Richie was. It was just to wave him goodbye with his mother. And of course, in the adrenaline and all the sense of adventure that those men had, Uncle Richie was pulled onto that train at the age of 15. So his mother lost 2 sons on that morning. How did the mother feel? The song is called Struck Dumb. In February, I went to a Loch-Nagar crater by La Boisselle in France, on the Somme. And there was the crater that was created by the British forces when they dug underneath the enemy lines and planted 27 tons of explosives that they then exploded at 7:28 AM on July the 1st, 1916. This one is called 27 tons.
sons.
Our next tune is all about a little camera, a vest pocket Kodak. A lot of the soldiers had them at the beginning of the war. Took photos, nice photos, on the boats going across. Lots of them had never been on the ships across the sea. Having a drink. Then Christmas came along, the Christmas truce in 1914, and all of a sudden the papers, the London papers, got hold of some strange pictures with British soldiers arm in arm with German soldiers. And so the myth goes that they actually had a game of football on the Western Front. And of course the government, the propaganda, didn't quite understand how the British and the German forces could be arm in arm with big smiles on their faces. And so they banned the use of Kodak cameras. This one's called VPK.
can see what went down till today. They send me everything there, so we can see what went down till today.
Oh, you heard this one earlier, so we won't bother. Yeah, we will actually, yes. Only a couple of you heard.
One day, our good friend, the drummer, came out of his sleep and he had a few lines of lyrics. And this is a song that Simon the drummer has written called Lead Hurts. And I'm sorry, but it's all about shrapnel.
See, even the drummer writes songs in this band. That's why we're called John, Paul, George and Ringtone.
Has everybody got the time?
It's 10 to 7.
Oh, 10 to 7. We've got a few minutes left. We're going to rip it up a bit. Yes, people went through hell, and nothing nice about war, nothing great about war. And of course, when these guys got away from the frontline trench systems, They go back to their billets, they went to the bars, and they got drunk. This song is dedicated to those men, and it's called Drinking Gin, because although they went through hell, I think they must have had a good time as well.
Just a couple of things. Yes, they drank gin. They didn't just train dogs, you know, and run after horses. They drank a lot of gin as well. So it wasn't all bad.
Drinking some gin, oh, I've been drinking some gin. That's beautiful, clear line, dry old me. Don't think I'll be getting up for many a day. Looking in the mirror and staring at me. Make me think about to go my way. So I find myself drinking gin every day. It's hard to keep a smile on your face when the doubt you're staring across your face. Drinking some gin, oh, I've been drinking some gin. That's beautiful, clear line, dry old me. Don't think I'll be getting up for many a day. Looking in the mirror and staring at me. But I hit too many pops, one too many things. And to keep on turning up the good old land. And one day I have to be back so good. And maybe won't girl all right. Drinking some gin, oh, I'm drinking some gin. That's beautiful, clear line and dry old thing. Don't think I'll be getting up for many a day. Looking in the mirror and staring at me. Looking back down on that step in a purple jet, and a dark step, and you gotta lose that step. Tried to spare the best, but I ended up a crowd, and it was time for a settle on the night. Drinking some gin, oh, I've been drinking some gin. That's beautiful, clear line and dry old thing. Don't think I'll be getting up for many a day. Just looking in the mirror and staring at me. Drinking some gin, oh, I've been drinking some gin. That's beautiful, clear line and dry old thing. Don't think I'll be getting up for many a day. Just looking in the mirror and staring at me. Looking in the mirror and staring at me. Looking in the mirror and staring at me.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Facebook. Amazing. I met a guy on Facebook from Canada, from Vancouver Island in Victoria, and he told me a story about how the Canadian armies came back. And with the welfare system as they had in Canada at the time, there was nothing there for the men. And I think what they did in the middle of downtown Vancouver is that they started building trenches on the grass square. And they started putting their hand out. Perhaps it was the first Help the Heroes. And anyway, a couple of years later, the Canadian government realised what was going on, started looking after their veterans, and there where the boys had dug the trenches, they then laid the ground for the memorial for the World War I. And a few years later, 25,000 people turned up for the first Remembrance Day. This one's called Victory Square. It's a sing-along.
Square, the day began, it's not to you, my friend.
regret.
I'll be there in Victory Square, there's nothing to you. I see you there. I'll be there in Victory Square, there's nothing to you. I see you there in Victory Square.
We have one more song.
On the ukulele. He's going to play his ukulele now. He's going to play this ukulele, special ukulele, what he's got.
It's an 8-string.
So I've lived here when I was 27 years. I'm really picking up the accent good, and I.
Here's a song that is entitled Over the Top. I haven't got a whistle with me tonight, but that would have been one of the worst sounds that those soldiers would have heard, is that long blow with that whistle. Not the bell, the whistle. Over the top. You can dance if you want. We will get some participation now.
course you don't really want to do that, do you? Well, you're not going home yet anyway, are you?
We're going to see more horse. Yes, our own names are Trenchfoot, thank you. Hope you enjoyed the performance later, and thank you very much for coming to see us.